Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in your 20s or in your 30s, this video is going to be the most valuable video in a long time. Because today I'm going to share not 5, not 10, but 9 most attractive skills that you should absolutely learn in 2025. My name is Ashutosh Dumka. I'm a PhD student at Iowa State University. And over the past year, if there's one thing that I've learned, is that learning a skill can make the biggest difference in your life. Once you learn a skill, it's going to stay with you forever. And the 9 skills I'm about to mention in this video, I'm going to share that with you, are going to help you in every aspect of your life. Let's get into it. Now, the first one is working out, and that's my personal favorite. And no, I'm not talking about hitting the gym 4 to 5 times in a week. Well, if you do that, that's great because I do that. But any form of physical activity, be it a sport, swimming, cycling, walking, running, whatever it is, just do it. You know what? Being fit makes you confident, sharp, and healthy. And once you're healthy, everything else in the life becomes easier. People see you as a person who has a better control over his life. Because you know what? When you are that person who hits the gym or some sort of physical activity 4 to 5 times in a week, you are already beating a huge crowd that is sitting on their couch, watching TV, eating shit. So you're already beating them, right? So good for you. I personally hit the gym 4 to 5 times in a week, and with my PhD, it's not at all an easy task to do. But anyways, I do it, man. I do it because I want to stand out of the crowd. And let me tell you this, if you hit the gym, your attractiveness level can easily increase from 5 to 8 just by hitting 3 to 4 times in a week. And no, you should not aspire for that aesthetic look that you see on the Instagram, because the reason you're doing it is just to get lean, a healthy physique for your own well-being, and to maintain a disciplined lifestyle that you're going to maintain for the rest of your life. The second skill I want you guys to learn is writing. And I'm not talking about writing a novel or a poem or a shairi for your girlfriend, but writing in simple, plain, comprehensive English or Hindi to convey your idea. Maybe writing an email or a post or a message to somebody. It itself elevates your personality. Why I'm saying this? Because I see a lot of people using ChatGPT and all, myself sometimes writing for the emails. And I think it's going to cost us a big time because we will lose the ability to think and write. So this is the new practice that I've been following. I know there are a lot of AI tools and I've been using it for my writings as well. But for the first draft, the very first draft, no matter how bad it is, I write it myself. No matter how many punctuation mistakes, grammatical mistakes or spelling errors are there, I do it myself, and then from there on I use an AI tool to improve it further. Now if you're using it to improve whatever you are writing, that's good. Probably you're making yourself more efficient. That's good. But if in the very beginning itself, if you're using an AI tool, I think it's gonna cost you a big time. Third is content creation, and I think today sharing about your life and how you're improving step by step on daily basis, that itself can help you build your personal brand. And I don't want you to make content to go viral, because I personally have tried that. If you go on my Instagram page and when you will see the older reels that I have made, all the vines and everything that I was experimenting, basically that was my experiment on myself to see if I am friendly in front of the camera or not. But I don't want you to do that. I did that just to become friendly with the camera, and I think I am now. But I want you to document your life in a very nice and a professional setup, because you never know which reel is going to land you which opportunity. Maybe a job, maybe a brand deal, or maybe it'll help you boost your business or something. So content creation, you should learn that, but as a skill, as a professional skill, not with the aim to go viral, but to believe in your purpose and relate with your story. Fourth is programming. You cannot miss on this one. I learned it the hard way. You know what? I did my bachelor's in civil engineering, and the thought process was I never wanted to code. That's the reason I went with the civil engineering. And look at me now, how the tables have turned. In my PhD, I'm doing my programming in Python, writing Python codes, AWS, big data analytics, cloud computing, large language model, so a lot of things. I suffered back then because there was nobody to guide me. But I will tell you this, you should know how to write a code. You should know something about programming. I want you to become a little bit of a tech savvy if you really want to make your life easier in today's world. Just by knowing the basics of the programming and becoming a little bit of tech savvy can help you leverage that and will make you the most valuable person in that particular field. Fifth is cooking, and you cannot miss out on this one. You know what? It's very sexy if you know how to cook. You can just go out, buy your things, maybe paneer, maybe chicken, whatever that is, buy your vegetables, come back, cook yourself a very healthy, nice meal, sit in front of the TV and have your meal. Healthy meal, home cooked. I don't want you to become a chef. cooking yourself Italian delicacies or croissant, I want you to cook simple basic food for yourself. And if you know that, people value that as well. So it's a must-have skill in today's world. In this modern world, you should know how to cook for yourself and for others. And I think your wife will also be very happy. Sixth is basic etiquettes. Greeting someone, a proper handshake, starting a conversation with the person whom you're meeting for the first time, or simply saying thank you to the host after an event. Simply saying thank you so much for hosting us. We really loved and enjoyed our time here. Even saying this can make a big difference. Imagine this, you have crossed your 20s and you don't know how to do a proper handshake. You don't know how to greet someone. How embarrassed you will feel. You will feel ashamed of yourself. So I think if you are in your 20s, you still have time. If you're in your college or in your school, learn about these things. Basic things, very basic things, table etiquettes. Meeting someone, greeting someone, proper handshake, introducing yourself, right? That's gonna bring a charm. How do you merge into a conversation, a group of people doing conversation about something? How do you do that? How do you break into that group so that you can also put in your thoughts? So that's how you make connections, right? So basic etiquettes, learn that, man, learn that. Seventh is quick wit and humor. You know what? In this stressful world today, everybody is talking about what they did in their office during the day, or maybe what they did in their research today. I want you to be the person to break into that conversation and crack a joke. That's how people will remember you. I don't want you to crack a joke during a funeral, of course. I don't want you to be dumb. But I want you to have that quick wit or humor in your conversation so that you become a person that people will remember. And you can leverage that later on. How you're going to leverage that? Well, that depends on the situation. But for now, my advice is everybody is stressful today. Everybody is stressed. So become that person who can crack a joke in that stressful environment. And that's all. You will be remembered forever. Eighth is financial knowledge. I want you to know things about how to save money, where to invest it, what are the financial products you can invest in, mutual funds, ETF, portfolio management services. I want you to know the basics of taxes, how you can save the taxes, what are the deductions that you can claim in your tax, how to even file an income tax return. And there is something that I do as a PhD student here in US, and I've learned a lot of things. How to use a credit card, how to leverage the benefits that are provided by the companies once you have a credit card. I book my flights. I right now I have 80,000 points in my credit card. I'm not going to name the credit card, but those 80,000 points are equivalent to $800. Can you imagine? The credit card has been a blessing if you know how to use it correctly. So I want you to be aware of this financial things, right? There are a lot of things going on. I want you to know this practically, how people are using it. I know you don't have millions of dollars or millions of rupees to manage as of now in your 20s or 25, but whatever you have, try to manage that. Learn that habit of managing money. Once you include that in your lifestyle, later on when you will have millions of dollars, you will be able to manage that yourself in a better way, in a more efficient way, so that you don't waste it on going out on parties. And you get that. Everybody have watched Wolf of Wall Street, right? So I don't want you to follow that, right? So become financially aware. The ninth is meta learning. What is meta learning? Basically, it is learning how to learn. Bit of a tongue twister, I know. But in simple words, it's about learning something in the most efficient way. Now, what are those ways? Books, podcast, or simply having a conversation who is an expert in a particular field. Let's say I want to become an expert in data engineering. I'll just sit for 1 hour with somebody, or maybe just meet for 10 minutes on daily basis in my office or in my lab, and we'll have a conversation with that guy. I will be able to learn a lot more things what I could have learned by taking a course for the whole semester. And we all have, as a students, we all have experienced this, right? We take a course for the whole semester, but doing a simple YouTube tutorial maybe for 1 or 2 weeks, we learn a lot more than what we could have normally learned in that course, right? So that's what meta learning is. Look for the ways of gaining that knowledge in the most efficient way, in the least amount of time. And that way you'll be able to pivot in your career very quickly, or maybe provide solutions to your team, or maybe it will also help you in your research as well. So meta learning, you cannot skip on that. You should know it. Learn how to do that. There are a lot of fancy terms as well, Parkinson's law, and then all that about optimizing your memory, how to remember everything and all. Of course, those sources are available, but I really wanted to give you the essence of what is meta learning and how simple it is. Reading books, podcast, having a conversation with somebody who is an expert in that field. That's it. That's all you need to master the skill of meta learning. So these are the 9 skills I believe will really help you stand out from the crowd. And I know these are not fancy, but I always say, stick to the basics. Start small, be very consistent, and over the time you will see how these skills shape your personality, your career, and your confidence. I hope this video was useful in some way. That's all in today's video. See you in the next one.